في كافة المجالات. واليوم أرى أن بإمكاننا أن نسرع هذه العملية وهذا التطوير. على سبيل المثال، انظروا إلى كيفية تطبيقنا لآخر المستحدثات الرقمية في مكاتبنا، فقمنا بتوفير أكثر من $1 مليار على مدى ال4 سنوات الماضية من خلال مركز البانوراما الخاص بنا، وأيضا قمنا بتوفير $2 مليار آخرين، وأيضا من خلال قادة الذكاء الاصطناعي طورنا شركة مختصة بتوفير الحلول الرقمية لتعزيز الأداء لصناعتنا. إذا فهناك فرص لتقليل الكلفة، وهناك أيضا فرص لنزيد من المستوى والقيمة. فعلى سبيل المثال، نحن في أدنك وفي أبو ظبي رفعنا من معايير مستوى إمارة أبو ظبي بحيث تكون صديقة للبيئة من خلال تطبيقنا لعدد من المعايير الدولية الموضوعة، ووضعنا وقمنا بتوفير أيضا أو حصلنا على أكثر من $5 مليار من خلال اتفاقياتنا، وكلها تدعم الاقتصاد العالمي وتثبت القيم المستمرة لصناعتنا. فنعم، فإن صناعتنا وقطاعنا ستشهد أيام أكثر إشراقا في المستقبل. وأدنك، ونحن في أدنك نكتشف هذه الحقيقة خلال تقدمنا ومضينا. ففي سبتمبر أيلول أتممنا مشروعا، وفي الشهر القادم سنقوم بتوفير كافة منتجاتنا الجديدة، وفي الربع الأول من السنة القادمة سنطلق آيفاد ستكون أول تبادل يشمل منصة مربان، والتي ستكون في قلب نمو الأسواق وستوفر قيمة رائعة للمنتجين وللمستهلكين على حد سواء. سيداتي وسادتي، دعوني أشارككم فرصة أخرى أراها قادمة. ذكرت الكلفة والقيمة، ولكنني أيضا أرى الفرصة للتوسع لأدنك، وفي أدنك يعني ذلك أن نتوسع بشكل أكبر. ففرصنا للاستثمار اليوم ستعزز من موقفنا غدا من خلال تعزيز القاعدة الصناعية للإمارات، ومشاركتنا مع أديبك هي قطعة أساسية من هذه الصورة. فهي محرك للآخرين لينضموا إلينا لنسارع تطور قطاع البتروكيماويات ومشتقاتها هنا في أبو ظبي. فعندنا النفط والغاز الطبيعيين، وعندنا البيئة التحتية واللوجستيات، كل ما تحتاجون إليه وكله في مكان واحد، وكلها في موقع جغرافي مثالي. ونحن ندعوكم اليوم لتنضموا إلى هذه الفرصة المتميزة. ضيوفي الكرام، هناك فرصة أخرى أيضا أود أن أسلط الضوء عليها، وهي بإمكاننا جميعا أن نلعب دورا فيها. فنحن كصناعة علينا أن نقوم بأكثر فيما يتعلق بالتغير المناخي. نعم، أدنك هي إحدى أقل الشركات المنتجة للطبعة الكربونية في العالم، ولكن تطلعاتنا أكبر. فهذا ما سنقوم به على مدى ال10 سنوات القادمة. سنقلل من إنتاج هذه الطبعة الكربونية بنسبة 25% أكثر من انبعاث الغازات الدفيئة. وأيضا سنكتشف احتمالية الاستفادة من مصادر طاقة جديدة كالهيدروجين، وسنقوم بذلك بالقيام بأمر آخر نعرفه بالتأكيد أنه عندما ستختفي آثار جائحة الكورونا سيعود العالم إلى استخدام النفط والغاز بأسرع ما يمكن. هذا هو السوق وهذه هي الفرصة. لذا مرة أخرى أرحب بكم مرة أخرى في معرض أديبك. نعم، إنها أوقات غريبة فعلا، ولكن نحن هنا سويا وهناك فرص كاملة. أتطلع قدما لأكتشفها معكم. وأن نغدو أقوى من ذي قبل. لكم جزيل الشكر.
إذن كانت هذه كلمة لمعالي الدكتور سلطان بن أحمد الجابر، وزير الصناعة والتكنولوجيا المتقدمة، رئيس التنفيذي لأدنك ومجموعة شركاتها، والذي تحدث عن العديد من النقاط. تحدث عن الدور المركزي لقطاع النفط والغاز لمرحلة ما بعد كورونا والتعافي الاقتصادي العالمي، وأن هناك أيضا العديد من الفرص لمراجعة خطط النمو في الدول المنتجة وفي قطاعات النفط والغاز. وأيضا تحدث عن التحول في قطاع النفط والغاز، وأن العالم بحاجة لتسريع عملية التحول هذه. وتحدث أن هناك في أدنك تم توفير العديد من المبالغ من خلال اعتماد تقنيات حديثة والاتجاه للذكاء الاصطناعي وتوفير حلول رقمية لتعزيز الأداء في أدنك، واعتماد تطبيق معايير صديقة للبيئة. وتحدث عن إنجازات أدنك هذا العام، منها توفير 5 مليارات حصلت عليها أدنك من خلال تطبيق قيم أدنك. وأيضا شهد العام الحالي عددا كبيرا من الإنجازات لأدنك، وكأنها تتحدى الجائحة وتداعياتها الاقتصادية التي لم تستثني بلدا على الكوكب، حيث فاجأت أدنك العالم في شهر يونيو الماضي بالإعلان عن مشروع جالاكسي الذي يعد صفقة تاريخية كبرى للاستثمار في البنية التحتية التي تمتلكها بقيمة 76 مليار درهم أو ما يوازي 21 مليار دولار تقريبا، مع ائتلاف يضم عددا من كبار المستثمرين العالميين في مشاريع البنية التحتية وصناديق الثروة السيادية وصناديق استثمار وإدارة المعاشات. أعود الآن لضيفي الكريمين السيد علي حمودي الخبير في أسواق المال والسلع، والسيد عمرو عبدو الشريك المؤسس لأكاديمية ماركت تريدر لدراسة أسواق المال. وأبدأ معك سيد علي حمودي، يعني تعليقك على كلمة معالي الدكتور سلطان الجابر، وتحدث عن العديد من النقاط وعن المرحلة القادمة.
طبعا حب أن نركز، يعني هو ربما أوجزها بالنهاية أنه هذه المرحلة سوف تنتهي، حنعدي من هذه المرحلة، فيجب أن نتصرف وأن نأخذ قراراتنا بناء على ذلك. كل هذا إن شاء الله سوف ينتهي، وعلينا البناء للمستقبل. 7 مليار ونص بني آدم على هذا على وجه الأرض، سوف نستمر إن شاء الله بالحياة والتقدم. فالطلب على الطاقة سوف يعود إن شاء الله. إذا أخذت بس قطاع السفر والطيران اللي الآن منخفض 90% عن ما كان عليه من العام الماضي، هذا القطاع وحده فقط من المتوقع كما تفضل الوزير إذا انتهينا من هذه الجائحة ربما حيكون أسرع القطاعات التي تعود مرة ثانية إلى الانتعاش. فالنظرة المستقبلية الإيجابية هي حقيقة مهمة جدا لهذا القطاع ولكل القطاعات حقيقة، وهذا الوقت هو الذي يجب أن نستثمر به إلى ما بعد الجائحة لنكون جاهزين إن شاء الله، لأن هذه بالتأكيد الفترة هذه سوف تنتهي وسوف نعديها، والقادم إن شاء الله أحسن بإذن الله.
أستاذ عمر عبدو، يعني ما أبرز ما لفت انتباهك خلال كلمة معالي الدكتور سلطان الجابر؟
نعم، حقيقة في كلمة معالي الدكتور سلطان الجابر لفتني إشارته إلى الطاقة، طاقة الهيدروجين تحديدا، وهذا أيضا يعني من الثورات الجديدة في عالم الطاقة. فيعني هذا ملفت جدا، انه خاصة ان يأتي في مؤتمر خاص بالنفط والطاقة، وهذا ايضا دليل على يعني ديدا مثلا مجموعة أدنوك والإمارات بشكل يعني عام، انه دائما هي يعني برو اكتف، هي مبادرة وهي فاعلة في المتغيرات، لا تعمل برد الفعل ولكن تعمل بالمبادرة. مثلا وجدنا قبل عدة سنوات أن مثلا الإمارات كدولة منتج رئيسي في للطاقة وللنفط تحديدا، نجد أنه بدأت الاهتمام بالطاقة الشمسية، لدرجة أنه يعني أدنى تكلفة لإنتاج الكهرباء من الطاقة الشمسية نجدها مثلا في الإمارات. أكبر محطات لإنتاج الكهرباء بالطاقة الشمسية نجدها أيضا في الإمارات، في حين أنه المنطق يقول أن كدولة يعني منتجة ومن أكبر المنتجين للنفط يعني هي لن تهتم بالطاقة المتجددة، ولكن هذا هو التفكير والتخطيط السليم. نجد أيضا أنه في كلمة معالي الدكتور سلطان الجابر أنه بدأ أيضا يهتم وأشار إلى اهتمام شركة أدنوك والإمارات بشكل عام بجميع أنواع الطاقة المتجددة، وهذا كل ما أشرنا إليه من قبل، هو أنه يعني الفترة القادمة سوف يعني جائحة كورونا هي غيرت من نمط الاقتصاد، وبالتالي غيرت من نمط استهلاكنا إلى الطاقة وإنتاجنا إلى الطاقة، ومن سيكسب الرهان هي الشركات والدول التي لديها ما يكفي من المرونة والجاهزية لقيادة هذا التنوع الجديد لإنتاجنا واستهلاكنا من الطاقة، يعني تشكيلة الطاقة. يعني سيكسب هذا الرهان الجديد هو الشركات والدول الجاهزة إلى ذلك. وأعتقد أنه يعني إذا نظرنا إلى التاريخ نجد أنه الإمارات وأدنوك أيضا هي لديها هذه المرونة لأن تكسب هذا الرهان.
نعم، ضيفي الكريمين ستبقيان معي.
And His Excellency Mohammed can do virtually to Abu Dhabi, and we look forward to hosting you in person hopefully next year. I think I think we have demonstrated that this group, as OPEC Plus, are to continuing this journey. Of course, we have a deal in front of us, and that deal has been working, and I agree with His Royal Highness. We have the ability to tweak if we have to tweak, but that will have to go to all of the countries, and we have to be all convinced that that tweak is required. In terms of conformity levels, I think we have also demonstrated as a group that we've been very disciplined, and even those who lagged behind in certain months have committed to bring that or cut that production or overproduction and adhere to 100% of the deal, including the United Arab Emirates. And you have seen that our production adjustment in September have been addressing the overproduction that we had to do, and we are continuing that in October as well, and you'll see the numbers. So I think we are all committed partners, and it's a fair deal, which is the compensation. And I think the fact that we have worked together so long as OPEC Plus will give you the conclusion that this group will continue to cooperate and work together in the longer, medium and long-term cooperations.
Minister Mazrui, thank you very much. Let's bring in the Secretary General of OPEC, His Excellency Mohammed Barkindo. Is there a danger that we get lulled in thinking that the second wave, Your Excellency, of the pandemic can be met with a similar firepower of stimulus? Because that $12 trillion plus has been a strain on the coffers of most economies around the world, about 20% of GDP in terms of debt levels going up. And we could sleepwalk into quite a crisis, not only for the energy market, but for the global economy. And what do you need to do to prepare for that second wave into the first half of 2021? Please.
Thank you very much, John. And let me begin by congratulating the UAE, in particular the twin brothers of Suhail al-Mazrui and Sultan al-Jaber, for making a very strong and bold statement of optimism by keeping faith despite the extraordinary events of this year and continuing to host this very important forum. And as Sultan has just mentioned, there is no better time than now to convene this forum and take stock of these extraordinary events of 2020 and hopefully project the recovery in the months and years to come. Now, your question on the stimulus package, our numbers here in Vienna show that to date, including the guarantees, we have cumulatively on global scale stimulus packages in the region of nearly 25 trillion US dollars, about 20% of the global GDP. Now, that tells you the gravity of the slump and the contraction on the global economy, on energy, demand for oil, and not to talk of the human sufferings that we have seen this year. Now, we look at it from the prism of optimism, that it shows that the global economy and world leaders are more than capable and have shown their extraordinary commitment to rescue the global economy, including energy and oil, by rising to the challenge. Now, going forward, yes, there is concern from the banking community of debt crisis. But I think the recovery in the months and years to come will more than compensate for this risk to the downside. According to our own estimates, we see contraction in the global economy in the region of about minus 4.4% this year. But there is a rebound in 2021, 4.7%, and still being revised upwards. Same for the demand. Yes, we are seeing contraction of nearly 9.8 million barrels a day for 2020. But the 2021 forecasts are continuously being revised upwards, north of 6.5 million barrels a day at the moment. And you have seen the reaction of the markets after the US elections. So there is no cause for alarm. I think that global leaders, including the G20, chaired by the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia this year, and the leadership of the OPEC, non-OPEC Declaration of Cooperation, have all risen to this challenge. And we have shown our commitment to steer the course. The compliance levels from month of May to date are averaging about 100% and beyond. This has never happened in the history of OPEC since the Declaration of Cooperation was signed in December of 2016. And you can see the commitments from the biggest producers, even on this panel, to continue to demonstrate this extraordinary response to these extraordinary events.
Great. Thank you very much, Secretary General. Let's bring in Pavel Sorokin, who's the Deputy Minister of Energy and a familiar face when we go to the OPEC Plus gatherings. I think, Minister Sorokin, I'd love to get your thoughts on when do we get back up to 100 million barrels a day of global demand, or have we already seen peak demand? What is the Russian Federation's view on when we can get back to where we were before the pandemic, or is that c'est la vie? We've reached peak demand already.
Well, first of all, I would like to greet His Royal Highness, Excellencies John, and I would like to also say thank you to the Emirates for organizing a very well-organized event in these difficult times of the pandemic. And moving on to your question, I think that's a rather good one and a very important one for understanding how investment trends and how basically the oil market trends would unfold. I mean, obviously, the pandemic would have a significant impact on behavioral patterns of all consumers, and primarily in air travel. We've seen significant progress in distance learning, in distance working, and remote access to things. And of course, that's not something which would be forgotten overnight after we defeat the pandemic and the virus. So this means that there will be changes and demand growth will be slower. So I don't think that we're going to see a full recovery in the next 2 years of air travel, although it has to be stated that there will be more personal transport use, and the middle class, after basically we're past the pandemic and after the stimuli measures start working and having an impact, and it has already been said that we have seen unprecedented inflows of finance into the global economy to help fight the economic effect, and I think there will be more. So more measures are being discussed. So basically, this would have a positive impact on overall cash at the disposal of the population, and hopefully we do start seeing some prompt economic recovery. So there will be more driving, there will be more demand for energy sources. So I think it's too early to say that that basically we are past peak demand. I think we're far from it. And in our forecasts and in our analysis, we see demand continuing to grow for the next 10, 15 years at least. And after that, we would be around plateau. But I think it's once again too early to say that the era of oil is over. At the same time, I think it could take about maybe 2 years to come, 2-3 years to come back to 100 million barrels per day or close to that level. But once again, considering the fact that there is very positive cooperation from the OPEC Plus group and very responsible behavior from all members, and also we are seeing a market-based supply response from all other countries, it means that basically the supply levels are also adequate to answer to that challenge. So it's a crisis. It's definitely something which has had a huge impact on the energy market and has sparked a new wave of interest towards renewable sources, partially as part of the stimuli package in a similar fashion to what we saw after the Great Depression and what we saw at different stages in history when roads were being built, and that's just basically infrastructure for the future. But at the same time, hydrocarbons, they still offer the most competitive source of energy. And if we are going to talk about recovery in the global economy, then it's not something which can be achieved without a competitive source. We do have to answer all the global trends about being clean and green and reducing the carbon footprints through various measures, including carbon capture and storage, including basically planting trees. But once again, at the same time, even with all these measures, hydrocarbons still remain the backbone of the global energy scene, and it's not something the world can do without.
Okay, a quick follow-up to you, Deputy Minister Sorokin. If you looked at next era in the United States, which is a renewable power generator, as you know, it surpassed the market cap of ExxonMobil. And everybody said, like Tesla when they had that market cap, oh, it's a flash in the pan, and GM and Ford will come back up to the market cap of Tesla. What is Wall Street telling us? What are global markets telling us about the energy transition? I'm worried that those in the oil and gas sector may be sleepwalking to a crisis. Isn't this trend well underway? It's a transition, could be 20, could be 50 years, but isn't it well underway in terms of the financing behind it? Deputy Minister Sorokin, then I come back to His Excellency Prince Abdulaziz.
It's a very good question. I mean, I think Wall Street is telling us that we've had 12 years of quantitative easing and a lot of money at a very low rate, and that money is pouring into the market at a very fast pace. When basically you can see from other metrics that a big chunk of that money has gone into inflating valuations, and of course money goes where the trends are. What it's also telling us is that with a 25 to 30% drop in capex in traditional energy, i.e. in oil and gas, and significant decline rates in most of the projects which have been driving the surge in supply of the past years, and many countries putting expensive projects on hold, it's telling us that when we do see demand recovery, there is a chance of a supply crunch, and that's not good for. It's not good for the suppliers. It's not good for the consumers, which basically means that we all have to be sensible and understand that no matter how basically popular new trends are and how much money flows into them and what valuations are, we still have to care about living today, tomorrow, and in 5 years when these new energy sources would not be able to replace hydrocarbons. That's why we have to be responsible and ensure that there is enough investment into hydrocarbons, which basically means that the price has to ensure that there is enough reinvestment potential and there is enough reinvestment interest in those sectors. So I would say that Wall Street, it's a flow of money. It's definitely an indicator of the future, but that's basically what responsible producers are there for. To ensure that consumers do get their cheap energy, well, I would say affordable energy, no matter what Wall Street valuations show. And if returns are not high enough in the oil and gas sector for the next 10, 15 years, when demand is still growing, that just means less investment and a higher price. And we have to make sure, basically, as I said, that there is enough investments in the oil sector to ensure global needs. So Wall Street is a good indicator, but there's also responsibility of producers.
Great. Thank you very much. It's great analysis from this superb panel. I'm not too surprised. I'd like to bring in His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz once again. And a political question, if you will, because I'm trying to search around the big elephant in the room here, the influence of former Vice President Joe Biden becoming president of the United States and what influence it'll have on the energy market. As you know, and I've covered this, he's earmarked $2 trillion to green investments, green infrastructure, going into renewable power in terms of solar and wind in the United States. He's not going to kill off shale. We've heard that from him. But what do you think is the number one impact, do you think, Your Royal Highness, on the Biden presidency and when it comes to energy?
Well, first of all, we'd like to congratulate the new administration for winning that election. But regardless of what happens, I think we have quite a history with the U.S. Of almost 80 years, if not more, of dealing with each other. We are going through the same transformative mode as Saudi Arabia. We're converting our power sector to more towards renewable and gas. We are seeking the same quest, which is being more efficient producer of energy, making sure that we are also efficient in terms of our investments. I think the whole quest of being efficient energy producer and energy consumer is a global quest. So anything that improve efficiencies in terms of production, in terms of handling or even consumption, and also in terms of developing a more sustainable energy system, global energy system, is a quest that we are all aspiring to achieve, and I believe that each and every country has its own responsibility of attending to that quest. I also believe that to do that, we have to develop lots of technologies, and we should be indifferent on which of the fuels that we use, so long as we achieve our KPIs of ensuring that the world is well supplied with energy, and the world also consuming this and producing it and consuming it in a very efficient way. And also we are doing it while we are achieving our sustainable development objectives, and certainly making sure that all of these greenhouse gases at all sectors are being mitigated or handled in a way that will make us get away with the so-called win-win situation, powering and energizing the world economy, yet we're doing it in a sustainable way. That's why a lot of people see eye to eye with us with regard to the circular carbon economy as a concept, which is going to be the congregator of many efforts. And the CCE would come with a big tag in terms of international collaboration, challenging technologies that needs to be produced. So it is a welcomed new approach to the US, but it certainly, as a producer of hydrocarbon, will look at CCE, and we have been working with them on many things, including carbon sequestration. That is a program that has started with 3 or 4 different administrations, and there is a lot of commonalities on what the new administration will be doing and what we are actually physically doing in Saudi Arabia.
Good. Let me follow up, if I may, with you, because you talked about the 80-year-plus alliance between the United States and Saudi Arabia. Joe Biden's not a person of knee-jerk reaction, so he's going to lay out $2 trillion for renewables. He said he wouldn't kill off shale. He knows the Middle East politics here. Do you see him rushing in to reestablish the nuclear agreement with Iran and then allow Iran in oil onto the market? Or do you think it'll be a gradual approach, Your Royal Highness? Or do you want to lend the position of Saudi Arabia during this Atapec conference?
Well, the nuclear issue is more of a political, strategical issue. I think it's certainly not within my domain. I honestly also know that there is an institutional legislative arrangement that needs to be seen, and therefore I will be one of the spectators as opposed to commenters on this issue. we will handle whatever may happen within OPEC Plus. Likewise, we did with Libya. Likewise, we did with Iran in the previous situation. And there were so many other countries that went through different scenarios and different situations where their production was severely curtailed for all sorts of reasons. And historically, OPEC alone and OPEC Plus did manage to handle these reversals as they come, at both ends. When there is production declines, including industrially caused production declines, we have been able to manage. Again, it is a safe bet to bet on the resilience of OPEC Plus. With regard to the 2 trillion or whatever the number may be, again, keep in mind that it will be, if it comes, and I hope it does, that it will be spent on power sector. Well, that's a commendable endeavor, because actually there is no oil is being used in the US in almost none when it comes to the power sector. So changing the use of coal and converting it to using renewable is actually a commendable way of attending to climate change issues and lending a great deal of support to the mitigation endeavor, including the reduction of the greenhouse gases. It is something that the world would be looking forward for, because as you may know, John, the US and China are the biggest emitters, and therefore novel and creative solutions as this are commendable, especially that it would impact more or less coal in the first place.
Great. Thank you very much for the analysis and jumping into that fray and taking a very sober view of what's ahead here with a moderate assessment of Joseph Biden. Suhail al-Mazrui, the Minister of Energy for the UAE and Infrastructure as well. What's your assessment of what it means for global growth and therefore demand from the United States for energy and demand from China on the recovery under a Biden presidency? We had a high-wire act with trade tensions between the U.S. and China. Does that clear away with the multilateral approach of Joe Biden? How do you assess it early days here?
I think, John, it's definitely someone would hope that any ease in the tension between the United States and China in regards to the trade would promote more demand and would promote further growth in China. If that would happen, I think that would be good news to the first of all recovery of demand and then hopefully growth in the years to come. So I'm a bit more optimistic in that front, and I hope that that would happen and that would lead to more prosperity when it comes to the international trade. And I think the other angle that you have to look at is the U.S. back to the Paris Agreement and what does that mean in terms of a commitment. But I think if you are looking at a short term rather than a long term, I don't think a huge impact will be in the short term of the U.S. coming back to the Paris Agreement. So all in all, I'm more optimistic on the positives rather than the negatives of what could happen.
Great. Let me bring in His Excellency, the Secretary General of OPEC on this very topic. And we've talked about this in the past. When I was at the OPEC meetings in Vienna, you would get pretty aggressive tweets from Donald Trump saying not to cut too much and then to release the oil, and it was a very combative relationship. At the end of the day, there was actually a partnership that emerged between President Trump and the OPEC Plus apparatus and a willingness to come to the rescue for the global economy during the worst of the pandemic. Will OPEC, in a sense, Secretary General, miss Donald Trump? And how does it change under Joe Biden?
What a question. Way back in 2016, when we crafted the Declaration of Cooperation, it was the considered opinion of both the OPEC and the non-OPEC ministers that this alliance was incomplete without the United States for obvious reasons, and therefore mandated the Secretariat to reach out to the U.S. industry and institutions, which we did. We broke ice and we got on with the dialogue that has continued till today. And this energy dialogue was in the best interest not only for OPEC or the what is referred to as OPEC Plus, but also for the consuming countries and the U.S. in particular. We look forward to continuing this dialogue in the months and years to come, because the U.S. has a special place on the table in the global energy transition. And this global conversation would be incomplete, as we both found out in the last 4 years, without the U.S. taking its rightful position in these discussions.
Okay, good. And the other thing I was going to ask you about, you've had the shale producers as part of the dialogue. Let's get the comments from His Excellency Pavel Sorokin here. What's the Russian view of, we've had 500 midstream to large producers in the shale basins go bankrupt over the last 5 years, nearly $300 billion of debt. And I was just compiling the numbers over the last 2 weeks. Is this the new reality, that you can't produce oil for just the sake of getting high production, and this is a shakeout, and the most efficient producers, Russia, Saudi Arabia, UAE, those that are around the table, are the ones that survive, and this is the realities of a post-pandemic world?
Well, thanks a lot for the question. It's another very important one, I guess, and I cannot ignore the fact that I've already mentioned the fact that we've been living for 12 years in an era of almost free money. And I have to come back to that factor again. So the phenomena of the shale revolution, besides the technological breakthrough, which of course was remarkable, but at the same time it was made possible, just like the inflated valuations in many of the financial assets, which we discussed in the previous question. But basically the phenomena was made possible by the abundance of funding. When you didn't have to be free cash flow positive for years, and it pretty much lasted a decade, and you could be funding operations just by promises of higher and higher production, because pretty much there was not too much, there were not too many places where investment could go. So that's something which also fueled a lot of inefficient drilling and a lot of inefficient investment globally. I mean, this is not just related to shale, but not just related to oil and gas. I mean, in many sectors we're seeing this. So basically now it just means that people would have to be more focused and more, I would say, returns driven. We've actually seen this trend over the past 2 years, when prices started to slowly come down. So we first of all, we had the period of 2014, 2016, when the industry, when the costs have been significantly reduced and the industry became significantly more efficient. But after 2016, 2017, when prices recovered and the market recovered, we once again saw significant cost inflation in the oilfield service industry globally. We never came back to the pre-2014 levels, or pre-2008 levels in some cases, but nevertheless, there was a lot of inflation. And a lot less capex discipline at the same time. But in 2019 and at the end of 2018, we already started to see investors putting dividends in focus and returns in focus. So that did see some reduction in the pace of growth and in the pace of capex increase in the shale industry. What is happening now is that the industry is pretty much cleansing itself of some of the debt or restructuring it, and we are seeing consolidation. So I wouldn't say that the numbers you've mentioned, that they're critical, because bankruptcy, it pretty much means, once again, restructuring of debt and the change of ownership of the asset in many cases, which just means that the inefficient assets would be temporarily put on hold until prices allow to develop them, and the more efficient assets would have a significantly smaller debt load on them after restructuring. So it's in a way, once again, a path to more efficiency. But at the same time, I believe that investors would be now much more cautious, and they would still be putting returns first. So at around current price levels, plus minus, it will be very difficult to see a significant increase in production on high-cost basins or in high-cost areas because, well, people want returns. They understand that we are in an era of volatility when significant price fluctuations can happen, and that would have an impact on what they earn from their investment. So this is a factor which everybody would have to live with. And so the countries with cheaper reserve bases, which you've mentioned, 3 of them are present here at the table, I think with some of the best-in-class assets and best-in-class expertise to develop it. Of course, these countries would have more flexibility, and they would have, once again, the responsibility to behave responsibly, because everybody has spare capacity. Everybody around this table has a lot of spare capacity. But the question is, do you throw that out at the market or behave responsibly? And I think for everybody's benefit, to minimize these price fluctuations and volatility, everybody has chosen the path which you see now in the market. So we in Russia, we are also taking measures. I mean, obviously, we have a slightly different reserve structure and a slightly different domestic market structure, more companies working and significantly a higher well fund. So, I mean, it's a bit more difficult to produce in Russia. But at the same time, we're taking all measures possible to also remain competitive in the market and to reduce costs. One of the things mentioned at the beginning by His Excellency, the CEO of ADNOC, was the digitalization of all processes. And that is one of the key tasks of the Ministry of Energy now, to actually ensure that companies have all the instruments and all the regulatory framework in place to be able to use modern technology and modern digital technologies to reduce costs. And we'll definitely have all the means to do that. So that would help us. That will help us reduce costs and further improve the competitiveness of the resource base, just like our colleagues sitting around the table.
Okay. Let me jump in, Deputy Minister, and I need a 15-second answer from you, and then I'm going to get the Secretary General and circle back to His Royal Highness. There's a change in government cabinet in Russia today. The person that we know around the table, very close to the other partners that you're sitting with today, Alexander Novak, promoted to Deputy Prime Minister. Would it change whatsoever the strategy and commitment to OPEC Plus from the viewpoint of President Putin? Is there any indication that a change of minister would lead to any change in dialogue with OPEC Plus?
Well, I mean, let's wait and see for all the appointments and all the proposals to actually be enforced, because I think it's too early to talk about these things now, because it's the government which assigns responsibilities to deputy prime ministers, and first the deputy prime minister has to be approved by the State Duma. So I suggest that we wait for all these things to actually be official and comment on that afterwards. But in any case, as I've mentioned today, Russia is a responsible player on the energy market, and that's something which governs our decisions and our thinking.
Okay, very good. Secretary General, you wanted to say a word about Alexander Novak. We have to be careful of time here. But he's been strategically important in the co-chairmanship with Saudi Arabia and the presidency in the year before with the other gentleman around the table, Suhail al-Mazroui. It's vital to keep the Russians together in this OPEC Plus. What's the message?
Well, taking note of the advice of Pavel Sorokin on this process that is just unfolding, what one can say at the moment is that Alexander Novak has been what I have always called the reliable and the dependable bridge between the OPEC and non-OPEC, and the umbilical cord, if you like, of the Declaration of Cooperation. He had played a leadership role since the beginning of this process in 2015 and during the meetings in Algiers that led to the Algiers Accord in September of 2016 and the Vienna Agreement on November the 30th on 2016, as well as the Declaration of Cooperation itself on the 10th of December 2016. And since then till now, he has continued showing that commitment, that leadership, a team player. He had played with all his colleagues, both in OPEC and the non-OPEC, and earned the respect of all of us. We remain proud of him. He is a tested and proven leader in all meaning of the word, and we are confident that his career prospects will remain like a shining star.
Okay, I'm going to ask for a minute each from our host minister, Suhail al-Mazrui, and His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz to finish off. If I'm listening to all of you carefully, and we have that underinvestment in shale now, and that correction that's probably a healthy correction because of where we got to in the last 3 or 4 years, and the IOCs being much more selective about where they're willing to put money into oil and gas because of the transition and pressure from shareholders, doesn't this play to the strength of the low-cost producers, particularly here in the Gulf and in Russia? And we could see a snapback in prices once the pandemic's over. Suhail al-Mazrui and his Prince Abdulaziz, you can pick up off of the Minister of the UAE, and we'll wrap the session. Please, Minister Mazrui.
Well, I think we are more worried now as a group with the collaboration with the countries who are also relying on us to supply them. So the relationship between suppliers and producers have been evolved. We always listen to them. So I don't think it's a matter of a price anymore. It's a matter of balance. It's a matter of investing to ensure that we have the capacity whenever it needed for the future. So I think that relationship have been very well developed. And I don't think any of us now is just looking at increasing the prices only. We are looking at a fair and a sustainable commodity production in the future.
Okay. Yeah, Your Royal Highness, you actually recently almost sounded like Clint Eastwood, kind of saying to traders, don't make my day. What are you thinking about that here in the context of the IOCs and their underinvestment in oil and gas? What's your forecast here once we get past the pandemic? I'm not talking about prices, but this ability of underinvestment hitting the price higher.
But I have a history with that since I've been involved in this. You know, you would, if you go and check out, I've said a lot of things about that issue in the 90s, where I was warning people that low investments carry the seeds for higher prices, and low oil prices carry the seeds for higher prices, and the reverse does happen too. My concern now, not a lot of people are focusing on the issue of what it takes to maintain potential. You know, lots of people do not either they ignore or are not willing to see how much money each and every oil company, be it international oil company or IOC or NOC, the amount of money that is spent on investment just to maintain potential is a lot, let alone even reaching out to their other objectives, be it downstream, midstream, or diversifying their portfolio and what have you. If this situation today prevails and the price and the market situation prevail, the more prevailing today, the more it to be extended. I believe strongly that we will wake up one day with an evolving growth in the world economy, but with not enough substantial amount of capacity to attend to that. And we have to say it also not only in terms of upstream investment. I would argue that you will have a bottlenecks on the midstream, you will have a bottlenecks on downstream. It's exactly what happened during the 90s. The reason we had higher oil prices in the beginning of 20 and some and what have you until 15 was it has to do with the lack of investment. And if you look back, you would see it was lack of investment on upstream, midstream, and downstream. So I worry a lot that if, as Pavel was saying in his first early remarks, that this situation will be carried forward with us until the beginning of 23. We had lost 20, which means we will lose 21 and 22. With that, and if you look at the capital spending that could have happened in 20, 21, and 23, 22, I would love to see how the world will relate to oil prices and energy prices in general, with a low investment and the impact that it will, lots of heroes will be lost, lots of contractors will be lost, lots of engineering companies will be lost, lots of manufacturers will be lost. There are lots of people that had been under the tire over the this year, will be under the tire next year. Then that's why I believe that the whole ecosystem, the whole energy ecosystem, and along with the world economy, will be best served if the world economy need the energizer and the efficient energizer and the moderately costed energy, mitigating the virus and finding the vaccine and spreading the vaccine should be our utmost, everybody's in this world, utmost hope and purpose.
We've heard that through the G20 chairmanship of the kingdom at the same time. I appreciate that. Fantastic panel, as always. I'm not surprised whatsoever. Pavel Sorokin stepping in for Alexander Novak today as Deputy Minister of Energy in the Russian Federation. Thanks very much. Always a pleasure. Mohammed Sunusi Al-Barkindo, the Secretary General of OPEC. Our host minister, Suhail Al-Mazroui, the Minister of Energy and Infrastructure, and His Royal Highness, Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, joining us from Riyadh today. Gentlemen, it's always a pleasure. Thanks very much for your time and your succinct answers.
Thank you.
We'll be back in just over an hour. We'll have the first strategic dialogues taking place with three distinguished CEOs, the CEOs of Total, BP, and CNPC of China. That's going to take place at 1600 here in the UAE or 1200 GMT. So we look forward to participation there in the same discussion that we just had on investment. Stand by here. It's a very important window. We're doing it virtually. It'll be the Atapec Awards for 2020. Thanks for watching.
We live in extraordinary times. Humanity has been shaken at its core. Unprecedented events have propelled the global economy and with it, the energy industry into uncharted territory. We have seen challenges compound, emotions surge, and unimaginable events take place. But we pulled together to weather this storm. And now, we must embrace this volatility as an opportunity to grow, to rebuild smarter and stronger than ever before. These times are catalysts for change. Never before has it been more crucial to harness our energy and share it with the world. And never before has it been more relevant to celebrate our achievements. Today, in our 10th anniversary, we celebrate resilience, agility, and adaptability. We celebrate innovation, creativity, and collaboration. We celebrate change and the opportunities that lie ahead. We celebrate the extraordinary, the pathfinders and the pioneers. Today, we celebrate you. Welcome to the Adipec Awards 2020.
Please join me in welcoming to the stage Mr. Ahmed Al-Qasimi, your host for today.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2020 Virtual Atapec Awards. I'm delighted to welcome so many of you here on this virtual platform to celebrate and recognize together our industry's best in class. Those who have contributed to the advancement of the global energy community and have inspired new ways of thinking. The organizations, projects, and individuals we celebrate today are pioneers, breaking down barriers and driving positive change in the industry. Especially in this unprecedented year, it's more important than ever that we identify and honor their achievements. Today is the landmark 10th edition of the Atapec Awards, marking a full decade of celebrating excellence in energy. The award winners announced today will inspire our global community and drive the leadership necessary to navigate together the next chapter of our industry. Your Highnesses, Excellencies, distinguished guests, we've taken the opportunity of our 10th year anniversary to implement a number of significant changes aimed at expanding the award's already substantial reach, impact, and legacy. 2020 marks the launch of 4 new categories: Solutions to Climate Change, Lifetime Achievement, Oil and Gas Startup, and Operational Excellence. These categories extend the scope of the awards and enhance their relevance with our continuously evolving and adapting industry. We have put in place a more refined adjudication process consisting of 3 tiers of evaluation, from a technical committee of 46 through to a selection committee of 19, and final awarding by our esteemed jury. This thorough process is aimed at ensuring extreme transparency while assessing a large and complex number of applications. Our efforts have resulted in an increased geographical distribution of submissions, with 2020 marking the first year where the awards has received over 50% of submissions from Europe and Asia. Without further ado, please join me in welcoming Mrs. Fatma Naimi, CEO of ADNOC LNG and chairperson of the Adipec Awards.
Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, esteemed jury members, inspiring finalists, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Adipec Awards from wherever in the world you are joining us. I'm so pleased and excited to have the honor of introducing to you the 10th Annual Adipec Awards. 2020 has certainly brought unprecedented challenges that we could not have imagined a year ago. But what has really struck me is how the qualities that we have had to exhibit in response to the pandemic are actually exactly the same as the ones we need to make our business fit for the future. Namely, collaboration, innovation, and sustainability. So this year has just made us value even more those colleagues who bring these special qualities. What makes the Adipec Awards more relevant and important than ever is that they give us the opportunity to celebrate and thank some of those who are showing the kind of leadership we require in our industry, especially at this time. And before I go any further, let me express my heartfelt thanks to my fellow jurists and the selection and technical committee members who constantly demonstrate all of these qualities and more in carrying out the difficult task of carefully reviewing submissions and choosing winners from a truly incredible set of nominees. At this juncture, allow me to take a moment to pay a personal tribute to one of our longest-serving jury members, Hatem Nasiba, the former country chair of Total in the UAE, who passed away recently. He was a pillar of Adipec and of our wider community in the oil and gas industry. He was much loved and is greatly missed. In this, the 10th year of the Adipec Awards, the important values of collaboration, innovation, and sustainability have been reflected in new ways. First, and in keeping with the spirit of collaboration, this year we have seen the greatest international reach for the awards, with nominees coming from more countries than ever before. Next, in recognition of the importance of protecting our wonderful planet for our grandchildren and for generations to come, we have introduced a new award focused on energy solutions to climate change. And finally, to encourage innovation, we are for the first time highlighting the best in oil and gas startups. I'm so excited to share with you some of the achievements of the incredible professionals in our industry. Better yet, we know this is just the tip of the iceberg, as there are truly impressive developments taking place right across our industry today. Let us all take forward this recently refound passion and spirit and ensure that our industry continues to serve society in the best way possible, not just today, but for many years to come. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and my sincere congratulations to every award winner.
Thank you, Fatma, for your leadership and heartfelt words. This year's Atapec Awards is the first judged by our all-new stellar panel. These exceptional judges have magnified the value, prestige, and visibility of the Atapec Awards in 2020, and we are grateful for their contribution. Please allow me to introduce them.
His Excellency Suhail Al-Mazroui, Minister, Energy and Infrastructure, United Arab Emirates. His Excellency Tariq Al-Mullah, Minister, Petroleum and Mineral Resources, Arab Republic of Egypt. Dr. Fatih Birol, Executive Director, International Energy Agency. Vicky Holub, President and CEO, Occidental. Lorenzo Simonelli, Chairman, President and CEO, Baker Hughes. Takayuki Ueda, President and CEO, Inpex Corporation. Dr. Pratima Rangarajan, CEO, OGCI Climate Investments. Jason Bordoff, Founding Director, Center on Global Energy Policy, Columbia University. Fatima Al-Nuaimi, Chairperson, Adipec Awards. CEO, ADNOC LNG. The Adipec Awards 2020 jury.
Not only did our judges invest time in selecting the winners, but some of them are here with us today, ready to share their thoughts. Please allow me to introduce His Excellency Suhail Mohammed Al-Mazroui, His Excellency Tariq Al-Mullah, Mr. Lorenzo Simonelli, Mrs. Vicky Holub, Mr. Takayuki Ueda, and Dr. Pratima Rangarajan. Welcome and thank you for joining us today. Please allow me to start with His Excellency Suhail Al-Mazroui. Your Excellency, how would you describe your first experience with judging the awards?
Thank you, Ahmed, and it's great to see all of you, Your Excellencies, and good friends virtually. I was honored, first of all, to participate with this distinctive jury committee to look at those impressive and great submissions. I was surprised with the diversity, the intellectual and innovative efforts put into the submissions, and the countries and the countries and the companies that they came from. So to me, that was very assuring that this industry is well taken care of by those individuals and companies who are continuing to innovate and focus on collaboration, focus on sustainability, even though they are producing hydrocarbon and working together in reducing the carbon footprint. So it was a great experience. And I personally was reading even those who were, I was interested to read all of the submissions that I have seen, and it was a very difficult moment to choose among them. To me, all of them were worthy to be on stage, but as you know, we had to call and choose. But as an experience, I think it has been a great experience. Congratulations to those who have been selected, and I think all of you who've been shortlisted are winners in my eyes, and I wish you a great success in your business and in your companies.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Your Excellency, Minister Al-Mullah, thank you for joining us. Your Excellency, as an industry veteran, how would you describe the caliber of the submissions that you've received this year?
Thank you, Ahmed. Well, Excellency Suhail Al-Mazrou'i, dear jury colleagues, distinguished guests, well, it is an honor really to be among this distinguished gathering today for this executive and expert to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Adipec Awards. So we recognize today that the eminent professionals and oil industry whose submissions not only make an outstanding difference to the industry, but also contribute to the quality of the lives of the people. So having been among the Adipec Awards jury, I must say I was astonished really by the quality of submissions received. It was not easy reviewing submissions, and by the quality of such seasoned inside professionals and choosing among them. So at the end, I wish to really extend my warmest congratulations to all the award winners and to convey cordial greetings and high regards to all Adipec 2020 awards contestants. So my deep appreciation really goes to all the supporters and the Adipec Awards, which indeed helped advancing and enrich the oil and gas industry all over the years. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Mr. Seminelli, in your opinion, how important are awards such as Adipec in promoting innovation?
Ahmed, very important and great to be with everybody, Excellencies, fellow jury members. And I want to compliment really on the 10th anniversary of the Atapec Awards and also the 4 new categories. It's vital to this industry that we continue to look for new ways of doing things and that we retain sustainability and advancements in technology. I very much enjoyed reading all these submissions, some great ideas out there, and I think truly a global view of the way in which we can take the industry forward. And as many have said already, you know, the selection process was very difficult, and everybody that was nominated are really winners. So my compliments, and I think this is a key highlight for the industry. Every year it gets better and better, and the submissions that we've received are better and better. So very important as we take the industry forward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Seminelli. Now we're going to transition to Vicky Holub, who's connecting with us all the way from Houston, Texas. Mrs. Holub, I just got to ask real quick, what time is it over there right now?
Right now it's about 5:20, but I did watch the opening ceremonies of Atapec, which was 4 o'clock my time. So it's a bit early.
Early. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, was there always a clear winner for you when it came to finding the finalists, or was it a bit of a process?
It was definitely a process, because evaluating my colleagues' hard work and the early career people's hard work was an exciting process. It's the first time for me to evaluate the awards, and I was delighted with the quality of the submissions. This makes it clear to me that our industry continues to demonstrate an innovative approach to problem solving and ways to collaborate. And the collaboration really is at the heart of all solutions. So I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the winners and finalists, and to thank Adipec and for doing this every year and ADNOC for sponsoring this, because without this, our industry, I believe, would not advance at the pace that it will over the next few years. And there's no other conference and no other venue where so many people are recognized and the process is so thorough to find the winners. And so you all make our industry proud, those of you who are winners, and ADNOC, you make us proud too, to have this event, especially in trying times like these are today. So thank you all, and I was happy to be a part of it, very much enjoyed it.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Holub, and once again, thank you so much for connecting with us all the way from Houston. So now I'd just like to direct my attention to Mr. Takayuki Ueda. Mr. Ueda, thank you so much for joining us. And I wanted to ask, is there something new when it comes to finding these types of awards, or with the finalists? What is the role of the Adipec Awards in advancing the industry?
Yeah, well, thank you very much. I think the Adipec Awards plays a very significant role to help shape and strengthen the foundations of our industry, especially now in one of the most challenging times we have ever faced. The opportunity to enter submissions for these awards motivates and inspires companies and the divisions to improve their teamwork and strive to make a difference. This year marks the 10-year anniversary of the Atapec Awards, and once again, a remarkable group of individuals, teams, and organizations have shared some excellent insight and initiatives across a wide range of subjects. Well, I'd like to once again thank you, ADNOC, and the organizers for providing me the extraordinary opportunity to serve on the jury panel. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ueda. And last but certainly not least, let me introduce Dr. Pratima, who's joining us from London. Dr. Pratima, in your opinion, how can the shortlisted candidates we celebrate today drive the change in the industry?
Thank you. Thank you for the question, and thank you for inviting me on this prestigious jury panel. You know, the topic for this year's conference is oil and gas industry's response to unparalleled change. Now, winning in times of unparalleled change is going to require both innovation and a focused drive on impact. And to your question, the shortlist candidates and definitely the winners for the Adipec Awards 2020 demonstrated these two characteristics in spades. They are innovators, and they will drive forward with a focus on impact for this industry, which is much needed at these times of change. Now, one of the pieces of change is really around our low carbon future. And OGCI is very proud to be Adipec's decarbonization partner this year. So we are very much looking forward to seeing these winners become leaders in the future of decarbonization of our industry, from production to delivery of energy and back into all the supply chains. We need to do it together. We need to collaborate, but we also need to lead. And these winners are going to do it. So congratulations to all, and thank you.
Thank you once again, Dr. Pratima. And thanks again to our incredible jury for helping to make the Adipec Awards an increasingly international and exceptionally regarded award. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, the awards presentation. The first award category is Breakthrough Research of the Year.
Breakthrough Research of the Year, sponsored by PTTEP. This category recognizes projects based on breakthrough technologies with the power to become game changers for the industry. And the nominees are INPEX Corporation, R&D Initiative of Electromethaneogenesis Concept Development, Towards achieving a more sustainable society, INPEX developed a new concept for electromethanogenesis in subsurface for boosting CSS, an important technology for tackling climate change. Shell turbo trays. The invention of the Shell turbo trays is a fundamental process change in contractor and distillation column design. The benefits are in applications such as LNG, blue hydrogen, natural gas sweetening, sulfur removal, CO2 capturing, and potentially $2 billion per annum capex savings and significant capacity increases in existing towers. NESPA, RPM, Reservoir Prescriptive Management. This is an electromagnetic technology permanently installed in the well completion. It allows mapping in real time the movements of fluids in the reservoir during production and injection. The acquisition system is supported by a software platform for data interpretation, predicting future fluids distribution, and optimizing actions for reservoir management.
With us here today, please welcome on stage representatives from INPEX, Shell, and NESPA. And the winner of the Breakthrough Research of the Year is... Shell. Congratulations, Mr. Vogt. Please share with us a few words.
Thank you very much. Shukran. It's an honor to win the Adipec Breakthrough Research Award, and we thank the committee for the opportunity to showcase this innovation as well as the many excellent achievements the awards has recognized. I want to acknowledge my many colleagues in Shell who have researched and developed the turbo trace to the fabulous product it has become. Their persistence in breaking conventional boundaries and not accepting traditional capacity limits has led to this spectacular outcome, empowering natural gas producers to debottleneck existing units and to have significant capex savings on new units. Once again, thank you very much. Shukran.
That's fantastic to hear, and congratulations once again. Our second award category is Breakthrough Technological Project of the Year.
Breakthrough Technological Project of the Year, sponsored by Mitsui & Co. This category highlights the importance that scientific research and innovation have in enabling the industry transition, which requires efficient, safe, and environmentally friendly solutions. And the nominees are Saudi Aramco and Seabed Geosolutions, SpiceRack. SpiceRack is a multi-year research collaboration project aimed at designing, developing, manufacturing, and commercializing an innovative, highly productive, fully robotized, and cost-efficient solution for seafloor seismic acquisition. Inflow Control, AICV Autonomous Inflow Control Valve. AICVs shut off unwanted gas and water zones based on fluid properties, enabling more oil production. PPTEP, Kongsberg Ferrotech, and AI and Robotics Ventures. Nautilus, an innovative single robot that can deliver full pipeline services, inspection, repair, and maintenance for subsea pipelines. Subsea intervention can be performed remotely with less time, less resource, and less risk.
Today on stage are representatives from Saudi Aramco, Inflow Control AS, and Kongsberg Ferrotech. And the winner of the Breakthrough Technological Project of the Year is... PTTEP, Kongsberg Ferrotech, and AI and Robotics Ventures. Congratulations, Mr. Carlson. How are you feeling?
I am surprised. I'm very happy. So, on behalf of the team, it's our honor to be the finalist and also to win this Adipec Award. So I would like to express my sincere thanks to the Adipec Award Committee for this nomination. My sincere appreciation also goes to the management and staff of PTTEP, AI and Robotic Ventures, and Kongsberg Ferrotech. Without their support, it would not have been possible for us to present an outlook to you and to the world. So thank you.
Congratulations once again, Mr. Carlson. That's great to hear. The third award category is Digital Transformation Project of the Year.
Digital Transformation Project of the Year, sponsored by National Oil Well Varco. The Digital Transformation Award recognizes organizations that adopt innovation and digitalization as part of their core transformation strategy. And the nominees are Spark Cognition and BP, improving offshore platform production with artificial intelligence. By deploying the Spark Predict analytics solution on 2 of BP's production facilities, BP was able to predict impending equipment failures and process vulnerabilities. This improved production up to $30 million annually per platform. Saudi Aramco, Foghorn Systems, Aramco Aberdeen, the Aramco Houston Sensors Team, Kaust, and Modus Oilfield. Drilling at the Edge, a major transformational initiative where people, algorithms, data, machines, and processes existing on an oil rig at the edge are coordinated around real-time information to accelerate decision-making and optimize operations. Adnoc Group and Schlumberger, Intelligent Integrated Subsurface Modeling, a one-of-a-kind AI-based subsurface cognitive environment that aims to reduce cost per barrel, ramping up and sustaining production while maximizing the value of Abu Dhabi's hydrocarbon resources through transformational subsurface workflows that accelerate field development and establishes an evergreen digital twin of subsurface models.
Joining us on stage are representatives from Spark Cognition, Saudi Aramco, and Adnoc Group. And the winner of the Digital Transformation Project of the Year is Adnoc Group. Congratulations, Mrs. Mawlud. How are you feeling?
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Alhamdulillah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are honored and humbled to receive this international recognition among all these distinguished lineup projects. And during this prevailing scenario of the pandemic, we, on behalf of IISM team, I would like to thank Adnoc Technology, Adnoc Onshore, Adnoc Upstream, and Schlumberger for supporting to achieve this outstanding success. Since Dr. Sultan Al Jaber has announced the era of oil and gas 4.0, Adnoc has spared no efforts to align all the resources to make this digital transformation journey a reality. And today, here, ISM team is standing here, and all people who worked in the background proudly stand to celebrate this achievement, this magnificent achievement together. Today, we are bringing the future to Adnoc. Thank you so much.
Fantastic. Congratulations once again. Moving on, our fourth award category is the Oil and Gas Diversity and Inclusion Company of the Year.
Oil and Gas Inclusion and Diversity Company of the Year. Sponsored by Total. The Oil and Gas Inclusion and Diversity Company of the Year Award recognizes a company for their contribution in promoting, delivering, and embedding inclusion and diversity into their business strategy, creating an equal, diverse, and inclusive environment for all in their organization. And the nominees are Emerson Automation Solutions, Diversity and Inclusion Programs and Initiatives. Emerson's diversity and inclusion programs and initiatives have led to a 13% increase in women in leadership positions, an increase of 17% of women in executive leadership, and a diverse organization comprised of 53 nationalities in Emerson, Middle East, and Africa. Baker Hughes, Driving Gender Diversity. Driving gender diversity at Baker Hughes helps shape the future of the energy industry in the Middle East, with a diversity profile of 43%, diversity hire rate of 21%, and a 50% female workforce in the STEM discipline across the region. Petroleum Development Oman, PDO's Diversity and Inclusion Journey. PDO's Diversity and Inclusion Journey has led to the implementation of modular online D&I courses, a D&I toolkit, establishment of a 50-50 gender ratio for entry-level petroleum engineers, and the extension of its maternity leave policy to 16 weeks.
Joining us on stage are representatives from Emerson Automation Solutions, Baker Hughes, and Petroleum Development Oman. And the winner is... The winner of the Oil and Gas Diversity Inclusion Company of the Year is Petroleum Development Oman. Congratulations, Mrs. Rahmatullah. Congratulations.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you very much. It's truly a proud moment for us to see that the celebration truly reflects what we as a company place importance on diversity, inclusiveness as a country as well. A big thank you to all my team members and to all who have made this achievement possible. Thank you very much.
Congratulations to all of you once again. The fifth award category is the Oil and Gas Startup Company of the Year.
Oil and Gas Startup Company of the Year, sponsored by Adipec, for innovative startup projects poised to reshape the future of the industry. And the nominees are Angara Industries Limited, Angara Cognitive Cleaning, a high-tech company changing the paradigm of industrial equipment maintenance through the fusion of innovative chemistry and digital tools. Its clients enjoy running their heat exchangers clean and efficient all the time while yielding a cost savings of around 37 cents per barrel of refined crude. Enduralock Fasteners, the first mechanically locking, high vibration resistant, permanent fastener that for maintenance is reversible and reusable. It is the first mechanically locking permanent fastener for pipelines that remains locked even with cyclical thermal changes in the pipeline and the fastener. Xsense AS, new disruptive technology. A completely new way of measuring flow and flow quality from the outside of a pipe at an accuracy never seen before.
Joining us on stage are representatives from Angara, Enduralock, and Xsense AS. And the winner of the Oil and Gas Startup Company of the Year is... Xsense AS. Congratulations, Mr. Husseibeh. How are you feeling?
Thank you. This is really fantastic. First, I would like to thank the awards committee and jury for this prestigious award. It's a great honor and a fantastic opportunity for promotion of Xsense flow measurement business during challenging times when travel and meeting up with people is difficult. Second, I would like to thank our clever Xsense team in Norway for developing this disruptive flow measurement technology, where sensors installed at the outside of any process pipe accurately measures flow rate and fluid quality. Finally, thank you for a brilliant virtual event. We hope to see you all in person next year. Thank you very much.
That's great, and congratulations once again. Our next award category is Operational Excellence Company of the Year.
Operational Excellence Company of the Year, sponsored by Samsung, for excellence in operating standards, process optimization, and operational resilience. And the nominees are ADNOC Group, Future Challenge and Operational Excellence. ADNOC operates one of the largest gas processing plants in the UAE. To ensure its business remains at the forefront of the global energy industry, exceeds future challenges, and becomes a leader in operational excellence, innovative initiatives were implemented successfully by ADNOC frontliners. Shell Quest, storing 5 million tons of CO2. The Quest carbon capture and storage facility opened in 2015, ahead of schedule and under budget. Quest has now become a benchmark for operations of a CSS facility, with over 99% reliability and operating costs that are now 35% lower than originally forecast. ADNOC Group, tapping into new business frontiers. ADNOC collaboratively worked together to maximize the value of its energy resources through innovative and efficient operation by maximizing butane supply from ADNOC gas processing to ADNOC refining west by 38% with zero capex and a potential business benefit of $3.5 million per year.
Joining us on stage are representatives from ADNOC Group, Shell, and ADNOC Group. And the winner of the Operational Excellence Company of the Year is Shell. Congratulations, Mr. Veldhuisen.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you to the committee. It's a great honor to accept this award on behalf of Shell and the Quest CCS team. Widespread adaptation of carbon capture and storage is one of the key solutions the world needs to help solve the climate challenge. Quest continues to be a thriving example that CCS works, and it works exceptionally well. Thank you again on behalf of Shell for this great recognition. Thank you.
That's wonderful, and congratulations once again. Our next award category is the Social Contribution and Local Content Project of the Year.
Social Contribution and Local Content Project of the Year, sponsored by Schlumberger. Social contribution and local content initiatives have become a key priority for the industry. This award recognizes a company that empowers communities through employment, development of local skills and capacity, and by enhancing local entrepreneurship. And the nominees are Basra Gas Company, Kutwa Program. The Basra Gas Company Kutwa Program aims to build local workforce capabilities that target actual local industry requirements. In 2019, Kutwa generated more than $2.5 million in direct income for Kutwa graduates while improving production of vital gas for South Iraq. BP Oman, Khazan for SME Development, a program that aims to help local entrepreneurs make their businesses commercially viable and sustainable through evaluating their performance and suggesting methods of continual improvement in partnership with BP Oman's partner Sharaka. The program provides an intensive hands-on incubation experience and continual mentorship over 12 months. Petroleum Development Oman, boosting in-country value through local manufacturing. PDO has worked to boost manufacturing as part of Oman's economic diversifications. 57 manufacturing opportunities have been realized so far. PDO, along with the Ministry of Commerce, led a cross-sector ICV project where 34 manufacturing opportunities were identified in Q1 of 2020 in utilities and pharmaceutical sectors.
Joining us on stage are representatives from Basra Gas Company, BP Oman, and Petroleum Development Oman. And the winner of the Social Contribution and Local Content Project of the Year is Petroleum Development Oman. Congratulations, Mr. Al-Ajami.
Well, thank you. It's a really complete honor to accept this prestigious Adipec 2020 award on behalf of everyone at PDO. ICV is a core value for us and is really linked to our vision and commitment to create value for Oman and all our stakeholders. I'd like to thank all ICV team and our contractors, suppliers, communities for their efforts in building and delivering ICV opportunities that will help secure long-term, sustainable, commercial and social benefits to Oman. Thank you again, Adipec, and see you next year.
Congratulations once again, Mr. Al-Ajami. The next award category is the Solutions to Climate Change Company of the Year.
Solutions to Climate Change Company of the Year, sponsored by BP, for significant progress made in reducing carbon footprints and deploying future-oriented initiatives across all sectors of the value chain. And the nominees are Eni SPA, Eni's strategy for the fight against climate change. Eni has committed to a strategic roadmap towards 2050 with long-term targets including an 80% reduction in net greenhouse gas emissions and a 55% reduction in emissions intensity. To boost sustainability across its portfolio, Eni established 2 new natural resources and energy evolution business groups. Neutral Fuels, creating a net zero world. Dubai-based Neutral Fuels collects waste vegetable oil from local restaurants, transforms it into a net zero biofuel for private and public transportation vehicles, marine transportation, and power generators in construction. Vehicles do not require any modifications to use Neutral Fuels biofuel, and there is no change to fuel efficiency. ADNOC Group, solutions to climate change. ADNOC Gas Processing has invested in technical innovation and is committed to the deployment of techniques to achieve higher efficiency, safer and more environmentally sustainable operation. it has developed and implemented greenhouse gas emissions reduction and water management plans as part of its operation.
Age of representatives from NESPA, Neutral Fuels, and ADNOC Group. And the winner of the Solutions to Climate Change Company of the Year is Neutral Fuels. Congratulations, Mr. Fielder. Tell us how you're feeling.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much. I'd like to obviously thank the awards committee for recognizing us in this way. It's certainly been an interesting journey since 10 years ago, we became the first biofuels company in the Middle East. And everybody thought we were a little bit crazy. Setting up a biofuels company in the fossil fuel capital of the world is something that really takes a lot of vision and a lot of creativity and a fantastic amount of support from the local governments here, from our partners such as ADNOC. And we really want to say thank you to everybody that's helped us on our journey, and we've only just started. Thank you very much to everybody.
That's outstanding, and congratulations once again. The one category that is very close to my heart is next. Young Technical Professional of the Year.
Young Technical Professional of the Year, sponsored by ExxonMobil. The Young Adipec Technical Professional of the Year Award recognizes a young technical professional who has shown the ability to become a key contributor to the development of the industry. In short, one of our industry future leaders. And the nominees are Sensotech, Dr. Mohammed Akram Karimi, a technical professional who turned a research idea into a feasible product, TRL 7 grade, which is currently being tested in Saudi Aramco's oil fields. He is the founder of a multi-patented DMOR technology, which enables non-intrusive, non-radioactive, full-range, orientation-insensitive, and calibration-free multi-phase flow metering. Saudi Aramco, Mustafa Al-Khawaildi. Mustafa is an energetic, driven young professional with a proven track record of implementing innovative and eco-friendly solutions to various oil field-related challenges in his 5 years' presence in the industry. His leadership qualities, extracurricular activities, and interpersonal skills complement his work achievements, displaying exemplary qualities in serving his profession and community. University of Technology, Petronas. Dr. Serene Laksaumun. Dr. Serene's well-cited and award-winning invention has been commercialized to several industry players in Southeast Asia. The invention has assisted oil and gas industry players to achieve natural gas sources that are safe for public use, clean, environmentally friendly, energy efficient, and cost-effective.
Joining us on stage are Dr. Mohammed Akram Karimi, Mustafa Al-Khawaildi, and Dr. Serene Laksaumun. And the winner of the Young Technical Professional of the Year is Mr. Mustafa Al-Khawaildi of Saudi Aramco. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It is such an honor to be the recipient of this prestigious award. First and foremost, thank God for his blessings. Alhamdulillah. I'm very grateful for my mentors for setting up such a great example to follow, for showing faith, and for putting me in a position to succeed and thrive. I'd like to thank Saudi Aramco, my management at Saudi Aramco, for empowering young professionals and providing all the great means of support to achieve excellence. Last but not least, I'd like to dedicate this achievement to my beloved mother. She's truly the unsung hero and to whom I owe my success. Also would like to thank family and friends and colleagues for their sweet camaraderie and encouragement. Thank you, Adipec, organizers, sponsors, and jury committee for this wonderful efforts. I'm extremely delighted, honored to accept this award. Thank you indeed.
Congratulations once again, Mustafa. The final award category is Lifetime Achievement Award for Outstanding Technical Excellence, sponsored by IMPEX. The winner of this award has had a profound impact on our industry. A self-confessed perfectionist, his lifelong scientific goals have centered on addressing the ever-evolving challenges of our industry in particular, and our societies in general. Over 35 years in the energy industry, the winner of the Lifetime Award for Outstanding Technical Excellence has relentlessly pursued his dream of becoming not only a world-renowned scientist, but also a leader, a mentor, and contributor to and within society. His invention, reservoir fluid geodynamics, known as RFG, has not only improved our understanding of reservoir production, but the ultimate accolade has become the new industry standard. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, I give you Mr. Oliver C. Mullins. Congratulations. What an extraordinary career.
Oh my goodness. I am very grateful to receive such an important and distinguished award. I thank the organizers of the Awards Committee of Adipec for celebrating achievement in the oil industry and for the gracious recognition of me. Adipec has been so important over the many years for providing a forum for new technology and new ideas. I have always loved the oil industry, and I thank Schlumberger for giving me the opportunities to pursue my dreams. This industry presents us with formidable challenges, often framed within earth science, that I enjoy so much. I have been fortunate to participate in and sometimes lead enthusiastic teams of talented people, diverse in technical skills and backgrounds, that resolve these challenges. I am proud of the oil industry that is a model for all, with its diverse teams working together with common purpose to achieve new heights. Thank you for this wonderful recognition.
Mr. Mullins, and very, very well deserved. Before closing, I'd like to welcome His Excellency Dr. Sultan Ahmed Al-Jaber back on stage to say a few words.
Thank you for joining us today. Over the past decade, these awards have provided a platform to recognize the industry's best and brightest innovators. I want to congratulate you all and thank you for continuing to think differently about more efficient and sustainable ways to drive our industry forward. Let me also express my deepest appreciation to the distinguished members of the jury for the time and effort. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge you all to continue to come up with smart, practical solutions that can improve performance, enhance efficiency, and add value. Your ideas will help drive the long-term resilience of our industry and play an important part in our collective post-COVID recovery. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your warm wishes and inspiring leadership. Please join me in celebrating one last time all the winners of the 2020 Atapec Awards. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings today's ceremony to a close. Thank you for joining us, and congratulations to all the 2020 Atapec Award winners.